County Council, God, it's like Heidi High. Northumberland County Council Petitions Committee. So, welcome. Item 1, membership and terms of reference. It's there in front of you. Has anybody got any comment or thing to raise on that? I see nobody. Apologies for absence.
Chair, we have apologies for absence from Councillors Swinburne, Wearmouth and Poshai.
Anybody else from the floor? Can't see it. Minutes of the Petitions Committee held on the 30th of July 2020.
Move as a true record, Chair.
Agreed. Are we happy with that? Yep. Can't remember. Disclosure of members' interests. Anybody need to disclose any interests? See none? Right. Report of the Interim Executive Director of Regeneration and Executive Director of Adult Social Care and Children's Services. 5. Petition requesting a review of arrangements for non-statutory transport to schools. Who's taking that? Over to you. Nicola, you're going to read it out.
I'm going to read it out. So the petition, this petition requests that the Council review current transport services and works with public service transport companies to ensure school transportation in the area meets the needs of the community and gives more choice to our children and their education. If your child attends a school not within the catchment area for your postcode, the current policy of the Council is not to provide transport unless certain criteria are met. You are therefore reliant on either public transport or making alternative arrangements to take your child to school. Currently, the 688 Hexham to Allendale Allen Heads provides a bus service from Allen Heads at 6:31 and 9:41. The service, which runs in between, terminates at Allendale, returning to Hexham at 7:50. Any parents who live further up the valley have to transport their children by car to Allendale to catch the service bus. A number of other parents have also stated that services to schools do not take into account children who may do extracurricular activities after school. Whilst the Council have made it clear that no changes will be made in the provision of transport outside of a school catchment area, they surely have a responsibility to work with public transport companies to ensure that school children have services running at the right times and to and from the correct locations where feasible. People should have a choice as to where their child goes to school, and in rural areas especially, appropriate transport and subsidised tickets are the only means to giving those children a choice. The Council try to encourage environmentally friendly ways of travelling to school with their Go Smarter Northumberland initiative, and yet there appears to be a disconnect between this and the current working arrangements with public services.
Yep, floor's yours.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Neil Easton, the Public Transport Manager from Northumberland County Council. The specific example highlighted in this petition concerns the transport of pupils to educational establishments outside of their catchment area. In the specific example given, it involves travelling from Allen Heads into Hexham and the lack of a public bus service to allow that journey to be undertaken using public transport. The area in question, as the petitioner rightly alluded to, is served by the 688. That's a service funded entirely by Northumberland County Council. It's a supported service and wouldn't operate without this ongoing support from Northumberland. But as the petitioner mentioned, there's 9 return journeys a day, but only 6 of them extend past Allendale towards Allen Heads. And some of them missing journeys do make it impossible for people travelling to Hexham, to educational establishments, to use that service. Either parents have to transport their kids to Allen Heads or Allendale, or the full journey into Hexham. So the petitioner is correct. There is a problem there. We were aware of the problem. We have been lobbied on the problem of not just the petitioner, but a number of other people. And we were in discussions before this petition came in with Go North East about possible interventions. In about May of this year, the opportunity arose to enter into discussions as part of a review of all Go North East Hexham-based services. And one of our chief priorities in these discussions was to solve that identified problem. So we reviewed the 688 timetable and came up with a new revised timetable. It meant that the number of return journeys dropped from 9 journeys a day to 8 journeys a day, but then all of those journeys extended past Allen Heads to Allendale, including those critical journeys as mentioned by the petitioner. That now means that school children beyond Allen Heads, beyond Allendale, can now use that 688 service to get to Hexham, can return on that journey, and there's also later evening journeys for anyone choosing to access extracurricular activities after the end of the standard day. And the current pricing for that, Go North East have some of the best youth offers in the marketplace. I think their current offer is £120 a day single from any point A to B, and or a £12 under 19 student saver ticket. Appreciate it's not free in the same way that it is for those children travelling to a statutory educational establishment, but it is cheaper than a lot of the competitors to Go North East in various parts of the county. And that new timetable came into force on the 24th of July this year, in time for the start of the academic year. So, and we've received no complaints about this issue since that timetable came into effect. Beyond that, the petition also talks about, wider discussions with operators and trying to improve transport in the rural communities. We are doing that. I think, if anything, the COVID-19 pandemic we've endured or continue to endure has actually reinforced that. I myself have weekly discussions with the managing directors from Go North East, Arriva North East and Stagecoach. We are constantly looking at whether the services are meeting the needs. There is a bit of a caveat there that, we want these buses to be running and to be carrying passengers. So it's difficult where there's not a critical mass of people to provide adequate transport. But where there is a need, we definitely look at how we can best meet that needs in partnership with the operators, whether that's through the use of our own supported services money, or whether it's using our lobbying influence to encourage operators to make changes to commercial services. I think we'll continue to do that going forward, and if we're made aware of issues, we will always take that up with the operators and try to come up with a solution. Subject to any questions or clarification from members, I would just ask the Petitions Committee to note the issues raised in the petition, the changes that the Council has made to the 688 service timetable in conjunction with Go North East, which we believe address the petitioner's concerns, and to also note the ongoing regional work on the establishment of an enhanced bus partnership and the associated funding and network improvement opportunities that may arise if we get funding from central government. Chair.
Okay, there's a full report that has indicated that there has been some improvements. Thank you. So, did you want to speak?
Chair, I was just going
Is
to
the
mention...
Pope Catholic?
I wouldn't know.
Sorry, Chair, I was just going to mention that the petitioner has given her apology. She's unable to attend today. She was invited,
Right.
but she's unable to attend.
Okay, is there any questions on this? Because the problem, from what I've just heard, seems to be sorted.
I just wanted to say a couple of things, if that was all right, Chair. It's a general point, really, and I'm glad to see that actually this issue's been sorted out, and I'm glad to hear that the petitioner was invited, because the whole point of this this committee was something that I created when I was leader of the council back in 2008 or 9 or whatever it was, because I was concerned that when petitions came, they went to full council, and the issues were never properly discussed, or they just got swallowed up in the bun fight. And I didn't think it was fair that sort of residents and people not particularly interested in politics were kind of going to the effort of having serious issues and wanting them seriously to discuss. It needed to be in a forum like this, rather than, with all of those people about. And the point was that would be able to sit down with the person who'd got the petition together and talk about the issues. But it would appear that this has been, we were ahead of the game on this, and we've done the right thing, which is excellent. So I would hope that we'll be writing back to the petitioner and saying, presumably they know, because
I think
presumably
they're watching online.
their child or whoever they were concerned about is using the service, which would be great. I just hope that when we do have further petitions come, that we actually can use this committee in the way that it was supposed to be, and have a proper grown-up discussion with people who have genuine concerns, and bring it to our attention, and try and solve problems. This, having a petitions committee, was supposed to be about engaging with the public more, being part of the way that we discuss with the residents things, rather than, as we all do on occasions, stand up and, have a go at each other, rather than actually focusing on the issues. So I'm glad this has been sorted. I'm glad you've let me ramble on for a few minutes. But what I would say, right at the end, we have implications. And procurement, none. I would have thought, we procure that whole bus service. So presumably there were some procurement issues there. There's also carbon reduction. Well, I would have thought somebody, if we're going to have to start taking climate change seriously, then we should have, what are the carbon reduction implications of running the bus further? Yeah. And I know that's just me being picky, but if we are going to really, the whole world is now talking about how we are going to have to change the way we live, change the way we do things. Every small change we make must have an effect. So what are the carbon reduction implications of running that bus further than we did before?
Right. I think that is a question, but it's not for here.
Well, I'm just raising the thing.
It's not for here because, let's face it, you could add up the carbon miles and the footprint of running an extra bus that is presumably needed, compared to, say, 5 people driving a car down to Allendale to catch a bus.
Yeah, I know.
So, that if you want to investigate that, you investigate that, but I'm not going to go down that line. But I take the point.
Yeah, Chair, I've got no particular desire to investigate. All I'm saying is that we have boxes on these reports that ask about the implications. And apparently there are no implications other than if we change the policy, it's going to cost us more money. Well, I dispute that. What are the, I don't think having none in the carbon reduction box is acceptable anymore. Not just here, on every report. We should be thinking about everything we do.
Right.
Thank you, Chair.
Good fettle, eh? Councillor Gallagher.
Thank you very much, Chair. Got to more or less say to Neil, well done. To you and your team, you've been proactive and you've been reactive. And I get reassurance that you've been talking to this particular bus company and resolved the problem. And I would like, as a concern for me, that we keep that dialogue open with all bus companies around Northumberland, because we do have issues. And if they can be resolved in this way before it comes to petition, that would save a lot of work. So again, well done on that one. Just as a point of clarity, you mentioned something about the student ticket. Does that student ticket, is that a 7-day ticket or is it a 5-day ticket?
5-day ticket.
Right, that's fine. Thank you very, very much. And again, well done to you and your team for sorting this out.
There is a 7-day ticket as well, but the one I referred to there for £12 is a 5-day ticket.
Councillor Ball.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that you are 100% confident that everything that's been put in place has solved these issues for the complainant, and also that we're not going to have a petition off everybody that needs this bus route, that it is being looked across county-wide for all the other issues that are coming in.
In terms of I think there was an accessibility issue, was the main issue that came across in that petition. I'm confident that's been addressed. I think there is some secondary issues where they talked about issues in wider parts of Northumberland, not just that specific one. That's trickier because we have to be made aware of them. People have to tell us about them, and then we have to kind of quantify the scale of the interaction before, and whether it's warranted. But we don't ignore any of these. If someone asks for something, you know, the first point is to go to the bus company and say, is there anything we can do about this? And actually, at the moment, they're being pretty good. You know, they helped in no small matter by the fact that, you know, a lot of the bus industry has been underpinned by central government and local government in terms of subsidy. So I think partnership working is as good as it's ever been, and hopefully that'll continue to be the case. The £12 weekly ticket or the £120 return, you know, I think that's quite good value. Some people might, when compared with, you know, statutory travel for free, some people might still feel that's expensive. So I don't think we'll ever get to a point where we've satisfied everybody. But I think in this instance, this is quite a good result.
Right. I mean, I filled up with fuel at Hexham, it was £1.49 last week. So that's, you know, I think a bus is going to, public transport's going to come back into its own. Price of fuel is going to assist what I'd call our carbon footprint in some way, shape or form. Might not be the way everybody suggests. Right. This is probably one of the better petition outcomes that we'll get, because some petitions will not, the petitioner will not have the problem solved because it might not be solvable. So any more on this? Can we agree this? It's dealt with and we can take it off the table? I'm happy to do so. Next meeting, 26th of January at 2 p.m. And I do hear that there are other petitions coming, so the meeting will happen. Urgent business, I have none. Thank you all for your attendance, etc. Thank you. And hope the happy pills work, Jeff. So.